Hey everyone, it's Sean here, your guide to Warcraft, with another BFA secret. This time I'm going to be showing you how to get the Waste of Time belt. Now, in order to participate in this, you need to have already completed the Baa'l secret, which was discovered just prior to this. So, to get started, we're heading to the Spires of Iraq and Draenor, coordinates 3633, where I am on the map here. Now, this is called the Waste of Time for a reason. All these objects are going to be completely random. There's not really a link or any lore to this. This is just Blizzard honestly just having a good time with us. So, first clue is in this little basket here. There's going to be a lit orb. And then we're going to be heading to Stormwind. So, I'm a bit outside the map here, but if you go to here, this is actually where the Everbloom portal is. If you played WoD, you'll know where this comes out. I'll just fly up here so you kind of know where I am, just behind the Mage Quarter. You look up above here, Everbloom portal. If you go to the portal, turn right, walk into this vine, you will see a strange seed that you can click. Like I said, these items are very small. They have no real relevance. It's just a load of random on-set clues. So you'll know when you get it because you're going to be proccing that pop-up. Next up, we're going back to Spires of Iraq, all the way up top, a little bit almost out the map. You're going to be in this river here. Very familiar with this place. I remember there was an annoying achievement here back in WoD anyway. But you go down under the water. Under the water, there will be a very, very, very small frog. Very low-res frog, which you can interact with to get the next clue. Next up, we're going to be fast-forwarding 30 years into the future, and you're going to go to Blade Edge Mountains in Outland, not Draenor this time. And you want to go find a brittle bone up near the Ogrelar area. This place is riddled with bones, so the fact there's a clickable bone here that someone found is incredible. But anyway, so there's the brittle bone, and then just to mess with us even more, we're going back to Spires of Iraq, so back to Draenor, back in time 30 years to Sefik Hollow here. Find where I am on the map here at those coordinates, and you want to walk forward to the left one, and just here will be a clickable candle. Click that candle and you will get a pop for the very next clue. Luckily, the next clue is only in the zone next to you, so you're going to Shadowmoon Valley, Draenor, go to these coordinates, you'll find the original Shadowmoon clan village before Ner'zhul went all bad, and next to this fireplace you'll find a little clickable cup. Click that cup and then you will get the next clue. Now, I want to show you guys a quick trick. If you've done time walking and you've collected the toy, there is a toy called the Ever-Shifting Mirror. You can use these to find what they call interdimensional points between Outland and Draenor. It will lead you to these clickable portals, which you can essentially use to switch between Draenor and Outland. It doesn't take you to the exact spot, but this one is pretty close. So now I'm in Outland and not Draenor, but I'm in the same zone, and this is really handy because the next clue is in Shadowmoon Valley but in Outland. So if you have that toy, that's going to be a big time saver getting across some of these points. But moving on to this clue, you want to head to the very top of the Hand of Gul'dan. It's like the big mountain turned into volcano thing at the very top. Zoom in your camera and right down here you will see a little charred rock, which you can click and it will proc the next clue. Can be quite hard to see given that your screen is covered in green stuff, but anyway, next up we're going to the Swamp of Sorrows, just next to Marshtide Watch there. Go to those coordinates, you're going to zoom in under this tree and there will be a little lily. Click this and as always it will give you a pop-up and then we can move on to the next clue, which this time is located in the Eastern Plaguelands. I've got myself propped outside of where it is, so you want to head into this tomb. Now, you can't get lost in here, it only takes you in one direction, but you go down here, you see the quest mob there, you turn right, you look onto this coffin. On the very top will be a flower. Just click the flower. Just click the flower. Next up, we're going to Karazhan, but we're going to Deadwind Pass outside of Karazhan, but we're going round the back. If you go round the back of Karazhan, there will be an empty chapel. Go inside the chapel, go to the end here, turn left. On the book, one of these books, this brown one here, will be clickable, and that's your next clue, which is actually located just outside the entrance to Lower Blackrock Spire. So, I've not put coordinates here because this is just inside Blackrock Mountain. Pretty self-explanatory, and I'm going to show you where to go. So fly into here if you're not familiar with where these dungeon entrances are. Walk up here. Now you have the option to go to the upper or the lower one. You want to go down, so down into the lower one. Don't go into the instance, instead go to the room on the right hand side next to this campfire. If you zoom in, there will just be a dead fish on the ground, because of course that is a clickable clue that's going to tell us where to go next, which is actually Duskwood, coordinates 5262. kind of in the middle of nowhere, you'll find the wreckage of what looks like a while ago used to be maybe a house. If you go right here, there will just be a clickable piece of wood that you can... Yeah, you can just click. I don't really know how to piece this together. These are just so random. Next up, Hillsbrad Foothills, Ruins of Alterac. Go into this building here. I think this is near to where you get like the tiara quest back in the day. But you zoom in. On the floor here will be a lost ring. Kind of stands out as the only good looking thing in this entire zone, considering it's all trashed. Next up, going to Badlands, Fuse Light here. Don't worry, this isn't a horde area, this is a gadget sand area, so unless you're hated with the goblins, you should be alright to go in here without being attacked. And then you will find an apple just on the table there. Just click on that apple, and then we're moving on again. This time to the Blasted Lands. I don't think it matters what phase you're in, you just want to go to the Altar of Storms. I don't think this is affected anyway. You want to go up to this skull here. Right next to the skull on the upper teeth is just a broken tooth. Just a broken ass tooth sitting there. Next up, we're going just outside of Blackrock Mountain in Burning Steps this time. You're going to like these coordinates, and you're going to go to this like rib cage sticking out the ground. There'll be some skeletons next to it. One of the skeletons is wearing a hat, which is noted as like a worn helmet. Just click that and we're done. Next up, we're going to Dalaran, but Dalaran in Northrend, so not Legion. This is the old one, 2008, going back about 10 years. Go right down here, behind the benches, in between these like flower pots. You want to look down here, and this item, I'm not even kidding you, is called the Leafy Leaf. The Leafy Leaf. We're going to Orkin Dune in Terraca Forest and Outland. Now this is the entrance just outside of the Shadow Labs dungeon. Click on the door to open it. Luckily we haven't needed a key for that in God knows how many years, but now we're going to go forward, and inside this purple tent on the left, just inside this little basket here, will be like a musty cloth that you can click. Again, I don't know the... Anyway, next up, just outside the Grim Batol dungeon in Twilight Highlands, right on the edge, looking over into wetlands, there will be a Thor's hammer there on the ground, and then just next to it will be a piece of a broken tablet. Click that broken tablet, and now we're moving on to the last clue in Feralas. Now, this clue took me a while to spot. I think I'm just blind, but if you look at these coordinates here, there's like this blackened or charred torch sticking out the ground. I was running around this thing for maybe like 5 minutes trying to look at what trying to find the clue, and I just couldn't find it. Now, we're done with the 20 clues. Now you're going to head to Arathi Highlands. All the way on the right, near the sea, will be a little farm with a little hut. And down here, inside this dwarven building, when you get to the bottom, you'll find a gnome skeleton called Grimmy. You want to interact with Grimmy, he will offer you no dialogue at the moment, but if you look on the table to your right, there will be a clickable item called the List of His Friends. Click that, and then you need to go on a scavenger hunt for some tailoring items. You need a windwool hood of green quality, some death silk shoulders, a Neverweave tunic, and some frostwoven leggings. If you don't have tailoring, just buy them from the auction house. Like, people actually craft a lot of these now, they've been discovered, so unless you're doing this maybe a few years ahead, chances are that it might not be so easy. But you can, once you hunt down these items, you want to equip all of them. I don't really know the link between them, but you want to click all these items, and then you can talk to Grimmy again, and then this time he will offer you a dialogue option that you didn't have before. Click on that dialogue option, and then you can now click another note. So this note is just on the left hand side of him this time. It took me a while to find it, and then there it is, just on the opposite side of him, next to his blunderbuss, underneath what looks like a bomb. I think that's a bomb, but then you click on that, and then that takes you to the next part when you need some more items. So you need a rough wooden staff. This drops from like level 15 mobs in the world, so you can probably farm this, but if you want to just buy it, just buy it. The next grey item you need is a one-handed trash sword called Proximos Rudius. Now, I bought this from the auction house because I went to Halar in the Grand, which is where the vendor is that sells it, but it was taken by the Horde, and there were Horde there probably all doing the same secret, waiting for their vendor to respawn. I was like, but just buy it, it's a lot quicker. And then you need the Punctured Pelt. This is a grey trash item from Grizzly Hills. Go to these coordinates, you will find just a trader, an NPC vendor, and right at the top there, the first item he sells you is this pelt. Just buy one of those. They're very cheap. They're not even 1 gold. Have that in your inventory. and then we're heading to Karazhan. Now we're heading to the old Karazhan, not the new one, and you want to clear all the way up to the chess event. Through those doors is the chess event, but instead of going through the doors, turn right, and you will find an ethereal, and he will be selling you some old items. One of those items is an enchant called Formula Enchant Ring Striking, which, you know, given all the updates in this game, has been useless. It's been grayed out and it's now irrelevant. So it's just, he now just sells it as a trash item. You want to buy that so that you now have all 4 of those items in your inventory. Then you're going to go do something else. You're going to go back to Twilight Highlands. You're going to go up here. This is like where the ruby dragons live. And you're going to go to the Flight Master, and you're going to type /slap. Now you have to make sure you've got your 4 green items from before equipped, and you have the 4 new trash items in your bag. So you need like 8 items total on your person technically for you to do this. Once you slap him, he will react. And then you want to head to Desolus. You want to head to the Cenarian Wildlands. Not too long ago I did a video in here with this guy, but this time you just want to type /wave, and he will wave back. So you'll know when it's kind of responded or you've done it correctly, because they will sort of trigger a response. Next up, you're going back to Northrend, to Zoldrak. You're going to go to the Argent Stand, go to the southern side, and you'll find this orc here. When you get to this orc, do /cheer this time, and again it will trigger a response. He will cheer back, so you know you've done it correctly with the correct items. And then lastly, you're going to go to Kunlai Summit right down south here at the Shadowpan fallback. You want to go through this door here, and you'll be looking for a Grummel in here. He's actually the innkeeper. He's on the left-hand side right here. You'll know who he is. And then when you get to him, this time you're just going to want to dance, and he will dance back and do a quick trigger. So that's pretty much it. Now we've done all the clues, we've done his 4 enemies with the emotes, we've got all the gear. So now we head back to Arathi Highlands, head back to this guy, and now he will have a second dialogue option where you say, look, I've taken care of all your enemies, I've done what you needed me to do. And then it took me a second just to find this, but now if you look by his fireplace, a 3rd note will appear. You want to click that 3rd note and it will be a recipe of some kind. But this is where things are going to be even more of a waste. You want to head outside of his house to those coordinates, and you'll find a rotten potato. You want to click the rotten potato 144 times. That's not a joke. Each time you click the potato, you will gain a buff. You want to click the potato again to get another stack of the buff, and you just keep clicking this 144 times. When you do it 144 times, you will get a second buff appear for 2 minutes called Marked. When you have this buff, head back into the house and then talk to him again. He will offer you a 3rd line of dialogue this time, and you say, how do I smell? And his response is, hey, okay, come look at my life's work. You head above his house, and there will be a lockbox that you can loot. Inside the lockbox is the Waste of Time. It's an epic cosmetic piece of transmog, and to be honest, I think it does look pretty cool. It looks to me like straight out of Crash Bandicoot 3. I completely forget the name of the villain, but he could manipulate time, and he had kind of like clocks built into his armor and stuff. Reminds me a lot of that, but I think this is very cool. The secret itself is incredible alone just on the fact that people managed to find this. I mean, there's no link to the items, it's a complete mess. There's a potato you click 144 times. It is literally a waste of time, and I kind of like it, but like each time I make one of these videos, they come out and they find something even more absurd. So all props and credit to the WoW Secrets Discord and the people that pulled together to find this as usual. That's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Links are down below. Be sure to subscribe for some more guides and videos. See you in the next one.